Okay. For someone looking to create partnerships, what are the first five things that need to happen? Well, is like five like a magic number here? All right, let's go with it. Okay. So there really isn't going to be an order that's just like coming kind of like off the top of my head and like what I see, and it may not be five. Work with me here. Okay. So, number one, you can't go into a partnership if you can't trust the potential partner. You need to be able to see that you can build trust. Now, there's a really important point. I heard it from a big Rav one time. A lot of times when people go into dating, they complain the girl isn't pretty enough. I'm not attracted to her. And I remember this one Rav. He said, he's like, when she's 90, she's not going to be a model anymore. Like that, it just doesn't happen. So he said that you're looking at the potential. When I'm looking at this partner, do I see a potential for us to be able to build a trusting, healthy relationship? It's true. Today, how could we have a trusting relationship? We don't know each other yet. There's the spark, but we don't know each other yet. So you have to be able to build that trust. You have to see that there's a potential that we can build trust together and that we're going to be able to work together. The next thing also, communication. You can't have a partnership if you can't communicate. Now, I'm sure that we all see this with vendors or with service providers or whatever it may be, that if we can't communicate, if there isn't two-way communication, that's a sign that maybe there's something off with this work together, with this vendor, whatever it may be. And it's really important to be able to communicate, not just communicate, but communicate well and clearly and comfortably. Sometimes we look back, I definitely see this with myself, where I don't want to say no, like I don't want to make him feel bad. I don't want to make it seem like I'm not interested, but I have to be able to say no. I have to be able to say, no, that's a place in the partnership I can't go to. That's a place in our relationship that I can't go to. That's not. And we have to be able to build a space where we can say things like that, where we can be clear, where we can be straight, we can be straightforward, and not that we're just pulling each other's strings and we're like dragging things along, but rather we're able to communicate clearly. Something else that's really important is that the partnership needs to be mutually beneficial. If there's only one side benefiting, at some point that partnership isn't going to work anymore. Again, for example, if when I go to the Makolet, it's 5 shekels for a can of Coke, let's just say. So that's fair. That's fair market value. So I'm going to go there and buy the Coke. But then if the Makolet changes the price from 5 shekels of Coke to 15 shekels for a can of Coke, I'm going to stop going there. The partnership didn't work anymore. They didn't communicate. They didn't say, well, the price of Coke, whatever it may be, on a very, very simplistic level. But if both sides need to really see that there's value for both of them. And so therefore, that goes back to communication. As a partner, we have to be able to communicate what is the value that I need. We have to be able to see what is the value that I need. Do I need you because you're going to write me a check? Do I need you because we're going to get further into our services? What is it exactly that we need? And once we can communicate that, then we can start looking at the partnership and how we can build it out. And the other side has to also be able to be open and clear about what the value that they're looking for is. This is a classic issue where both sides say, yeah, we're going to go into this. And one side says, this is what I need. The other side doesn't say anything. We sign the contract. Then you come back and there's disappointment. You didn't fulfill what you wanted. Well, you never communicated it. So how are we supposed to be able to offer that to you? Another thing that's really important when going into a partnership is knowing who the players are. So, there's a lot of different levels in the hierarchy, but this reminds me of discussions that we were having when we were building a partnership. So there was a partner that we were starting to negotiate with, and we would set a meeting. Let's say that meeting was with me and the other CEO on the other end. And I would show up to the meeting and there would be 5 other people that were at that meeting. Who are those people? What are they doing here? What I thought that we're supposed to be meeting. It needs to be a meeting of equals. So I'm not going to be meeting. It doesn't make sense for me to be meeting with the service provider because I can't speak deep enough to the services to understand what our needs are. But at the same time, I can't have our service provider meeting with the CFO of their company because he doesn't understand finances enough to be able to go into the financial discussion. So it really we need to know who the players are, and we need to know how to work within the hierarchy so that we can create conclusions, that we can create clear communication, and we can know where we need to go. I just had recently where the CEO of one of our partners, he said to me, okay, we need to send you a bill. I'm sending you the bill. And I said to him, well, I'm not going to necessarily understand the full bill because when we were discussing how we were breaking down the finances, your finance person was speaking to our finance person. So maybe it's better for the 2 finance people to communicate with each other. And once those 2 finance people can communicate with each other, So then they're going to be able to work it out very simply, and they're going to be able to deal with it very simply. So what's important is to make sure that the hierarchy is working together and there's an understanding of who the different players are within the different partnerships so that we know that we're meeting with the right people and speaking one person to the right person in the right way.